This is my second episode of What the Trans. If you can't tell, the lighting is better in this video, but the room has clearly not been cleaned. I mean, look at this. I'm a mess. I'm really this week that I wanted to talk about was coming out. I've come out a couple times in my life as a couple of different things. When I first realized that I wasn't straight, I came out as bisexual when I was 15 to my parents. They took it pretty well, relatively speaking, for the time. Within 2 years, I came out again as lesbian, and that pretty much stuck around for like 3 or 4 years. And then when I was 22, I came out as transgender to some people. Not everybody, but most people. I'd say my parents were about 2 months behind the first person I ever told. Let me just say that to come out as trans has definitely been the hardest coming out experience. Mostly because it's just now really gaining a name and faces to go with it. You end up answering a lot of questions that you don't get when you're lesbian, or I personally did not, really get when I came out as lesbian or bi. My parents had questions of like, what made you start feeling this way? Is there something we did? But the general consensus was more that of oh, okay, no big deal. So when I first came out as trans, there were a lot of questions about, my body, my physical appearance, where I wanted to go with my transition, if I wanted to transition, who I talked to convince me that I was trans, or, did I expect it to stick, was I sure? All that type of stuff came up, which was weird. Eventually I got used to answering the questions, but it was pretty tough when I first came out. So I give props to anybody who's willing to come out period as trans, because it is a pretty difficult experience. Now that I've sort of completed my medical transition, I'm still debating on getting a hysterectomy. I kind of like living, like having that part of me still being in there. You just never know what life is gonna throw your way. But I've had top surgery, which is the removal of my breast, and I've had hormones before, still trying to get them now. I don't know what's taking so long, but it always seems to take long no matter how many times you do it. Obviously I've cut my hair, still getting a beard in without the hormones. My muscles are still here. So generally speaking, as I said before in my last video, I sort of already read as male pretty solidly. Gay male most times, but not always trans anymore, which is sort of a newer philosophy where you come out and people had no idea. They were like, I didn't know, I didn't even think that you used to be a girl, or that you are trans, that's how you currently identify. Because it just don't come out that often anymore. It's more like something I throw into the conversation, not something I really lead with. And I'm not really sure why that is. I think it's mostly because I've become so comfortable with myself that I no longer have that need to tell people like, hey, I use male pronouns or anything like that, because I already appear to be male to some people. Also because I think it becomes a little bit more threatening when you look like a guy but you are a girl, and especially when you have people who feel the need to not mock, tease. I have a lot of people who tease me about, just the fact that I do dance as an activity, and that I do, I do Zumba a lot. It's actually my Zumba shirt that I'm wearing. So I just got back from the gym. So I do Zumba like 2 or 3 times a week, and it's a very female populated class. I'm usually the only guy. If I'm not the only guy, I count the other guys on one hand. So people make comments about why I do it, and do I do it to get girls or stuff like that, which I can tell you, like, I've got Facebook friends. I've never gotten any hookups from working out. I'm just not that graceful person. I'm sweating. So it's people like that who seem to be kind of mocking my maleness that makes it really difficult to come out. I'm not that type of person that really enjoys confrontation, so it's partially my fault, because I think if they knew, they would be more conscious. But then it's like, how would I interact with a person like that? It's like, generally speaking, I don't have a lot of friends who are that mean-spirited. And so I just try to avoid the situation if I can. I mean, I feel like if you're a good friend of mine, it's definitely something that's going to come up. And especially if we were to go into a relationship situation, it would definitely be a topic of conversation. And to tell you the truth, minus a few people who just get hung up on the fact that I'm trans, I've really had a pretty awesome experience coming out. I've gotten to be able to talk about being trans, being black. There's a lot of negotiating, and that happens, same as with any other relationship, I suppose. I've never felt overly denied because I was trans. Like some people, they feel like they get discriminated against, and I kind of don't. I don't think I have. I think in finding myself, I've been able to be more open, which is great. But then I also know that my business is not everybody's business. I don't know. I mean, if anybody has any questions, I'm always online, so I can totally be answered. You can find us on Facebook. Apparently, if you Facebook WhatTheTrans with your Google fingers, your Facebook fingers that are typing, you can find us on there. I think we have like 13 likes right now, which is like pitiful. But hopefully with the YouTube universe, we can get more. And maybe next time we'll talk about Oh, I know. I'm going on a conference. I'm going to a conference this week, an Momentum conference. It's supposed to be about like feminism and new media and sexuality and all that. So maybe I'll do a report on that or something, because I think it's going to be really awesome. I'm definitely going to have a lot of cool people there. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.